I love it, man. He's just, if you took a tight end and like create a character in Madden or like NCAA, like College Football 25, this is your guy.
Yeah.
Like 100%.
Hey, ChatGPT, make me a prototypical tight end. And you get Tyler Warren.
Oh, yeah.
I absolutely love it. Watching him play was the most fun. It was almost comical to see people try and tackle this guy. I mean, he was just head first. I'm going to run you over. Try and stop me. Everyone, and welcome to the Beard Zone Sports Talk. My name is David. I got Carlos and Scooter with me tonight, and tonight we are going to be breaking down. We're going to do a little bit of a merge. We're doing wide receiver, we're doing tight ends, not very deep in either position, so we decided to just go ahead and bring them together. Not like last week where we could have done like 3 episodes with the running backs, but hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, so then that way you can follow us as we break down all of the top prospects going into this year's NFL draft. Gentlemen, I want to kick off with a guy who, I'm not going to lie, Carlos, I was ready to maybe have a little bit of a debate with you. Because the guy who you put on the list, I understood, but I just didn't agree with it. And it is because this guy, although he is the number one guy in the draft this year, he's going into the league as a defensive back, and that is Travis Hunter. But there is a but here. The guy was a really good wide receiver as well, now that I look at his stats. So let's talk about Travis Hunter. Let's kind of get him out of the way, not to be disrespectful, but we're going to be breaking him down on the defensive side of the ball because that is where he's going to be going. But this guy, man, he's going to be a weapon for whoever gets him. 96 catches, 1,258 yards, and 15 touchdowns. That's nothing to overlook when it comes down to the stats. So, Carlos, you wanted this guy on the board. I think some of the comments last video were saying, you know, Jeremiah Smith is the number one wide receiver. I don't think that they knew that you were referencing the number one guy is Travis Hunter. So talk about this guy for us.
I mean, he is. If we're just looking at him as a wide receiver, forget about the cornerback position. He hands down is the number one receiver. His knowledge of the game in itself is off the charts. He just understands how the game is to be played. And I think some of it with him playing corner helps him at wide receiver. You ever see like the best chess players in the world? They play against each other. And that's him. He's the best corner in the draft, and he's the best wide receiver. This guy, route running, everything that you need a wide receiver to do, he does it very well. He contested balls. After he catches the ball, the kid's explosive. And like I said, the best thing about him, he just understands. He understands when he runs his route, the tempo part of it, to start off slow and then explode, get out of breaks very quickly and explosively.
Yeah.
The kid's got it all, man. He is, I'm trying to think of another athlete that we've seen like this guy. And I can't think of one that he's so good. He's smart. And I mean, guy's got it all, man. Speed, body control. Like he made some great catches in Colorado.
He really did. And that's why because I was like, oh man, why are we talking about Travis Hunter? You know, I get it. He did play wide receiver, but I think I forgot because he is so good at both positions. And because he decided to go into the NFL draft as a defensive back, I think I forgot about how good of a wide receiver this guy was. But definitely the number one dude. I mean, he's just smooth. I mean, you kind of touched on it. Smooth in every transition. I mean, his hips are extremely fluid. So, and that's everything you want in a wide receiver. So, but we will be breaking down Travis Hunter a little bit more in our defensive back here in the next couple of weeks. I am sure of it. But let's talk about some of the guys who are going to be, in this draft class with him, with the wide receiver room. And I want to go over to Arizona, Mr. T-Mac himself. Big dude, 6'4" or 6'5", 212 pounds. just an absolute, like, this guy goes up for the 50-50 balls, and he a lot of the times wins those 50-50 balls. But, and this is kind of, what a lot of teams are looking at and a lot of scouts are saying, the reason why there's been a lot of contested balls is because he just doesn't have the smooth route running that you want to see from a wide receiver to get that separation. So, Scooter, how do you feel about Mr. T-Mac over there in Arizona?
So they said the similar things, not the smooth route running, great size, great hands, double jump, double team. About Mike Evans. So take that and put it in your pipe and smoke it, because you got a guy who's 6'4", 219. I don't know if that's the 6'4", 6'5". He's probably got like a half inch somewhere. And again, he ran a 40 in 4.48 seconds. He had almost 90 receptions for 1,300 yards and 8 touchdowns for Arizona coming into, a new conference. He's a mismatch almost by himself with almost every other corner he's matched up against. His size, athleticism, his route running needs a little tweak. I got it. But he's a complete mismatch size-wise. And in the NFL, that is massive. His wingspan, his hands. Dude, if you could have like another version of Mike Evans in the league, this is probably your guy to look at. I'm not saying the Bucs absolutely have to pick him up. I'm just saying he's probably a sizable dude to maybe take a chance on, like a DK Metcalf coming in. Maybe DK's got like a massive amount of size on him, weight-wise. But the height, hands, the reach, maybe you tweak him in some coaching with that route running and make a true X receiver.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Carlos, what do you think about T-Mac?
He's a true number one, man. That 6'5" frame, and the good thing with him is that he understands he's a big guy, and like you said, he's not. The contested balls come from not that much separation, but he knows how to work that body. I mean, if he played basketball, he'd be a great rebounder, man. He boxes out, and he like Scooter said, his wingspan and that catch radius is huge. So he's gonna be a huge threat in the NFL. You know, he reminds me of is Drake London. He's that big guy. He's going to convert on third downs. He's going to be an end zone, a red zone receiver. That's going to be a problem. But the one thing I like about him, and watching a few of his game, is he understands when his quarterback is scrambling or is in trouble that he comes back to the quarterback very well. So that's one thing that you see a lot of receivers don't do well. And he does it very well. And like you said, he uses that body, man. So when he's coming back, he's just shielding the guy out. And he's got good speed. So, and like Scooter said, Mike Evans it's hard to compare to somebody to a great. Like, it's tough.
Yeah.
But he has that type of thing where Evans wasn't the fastest guy at the combine. He's big, in his Texas A&M days. But he kind of reminds me a little bit of that Mike Evans, Drake London type wide receiver. I think he's going to be a good fit for somebody.
Definitely going to be interesting to see where he lands. That when you can box out defenders like he can, I mean, the red zone targets are going to be there. So definitely maybe look at him in fantasy if you're a fantasy guy. But let's move on to the next guy on our list, and that is the guy from Texas, Matthew Golden, 6 foot 194. This guy, I feel like he's just a very well-rounded receiver. He has good speed. He great footwork. And he also comes from, I don't want to say an NFL offense with Texas, but they just have kind of the pieces around him, kind of like an NFL offense does. He was more of the outside guy. They had an inside guy there in Texas. They spread the ball around pretty well there. But Carlos, what do you like about Matthew Golden?
I like this guy a lot, man. He comes in, he transfers from Houston, didn't put up spectacular numbers, but I like him coming into Texas. It's a big program. Their first year SEC, it's a lot of pressure there. And he makes that transition to be the number one guy. He gets better and better, but that guy is lightning in a bottle. And he's really good out of his breaks, but man, and he makes you miss. That's one guy you cannot afford to miss because he's gone. I mean, he's got home run speed all the way around. But he's what'd be a scary fit for him in the NFL is if freaking the Chiefs snag him up late.
No, please don't do that.
Oh my
With
gosh,
with him and Worthy,
stop with it. Oh,
you imagine him and Worthy on one side or the other. Just what do you do there? But the kid catches the ball very well. He does a lot of really good things. He's ready for the big game. In that SEC championship game, he had a big game.
yeah.
And he's a hard worker, man. Coming in from Houston, you got a lot to prove, and he did it.
Definitely panned out well for him with that transition. So, Scooter, how do you like him?
I mean, Golden, he had some drops and some injuries. I think that's probably just something to consider. His longevity, anyways, because we thought Quentin Johnson was great, then he's brick hands. So there's that. You have a guy, though, with Golden. I would say that he's a better route runner than Worthy, with a slightly less speed. He can create separation a little bit better than Worthy can, because I think he's a slightly bigger dude. I think he's got like a 10 pounds on him or something like that. He has a knack for being clutch. Like you guys were saying, the SEC championship game, he came in very clutch. And it'd be very interesting if he's not going to be a starting wide receiver, if he can make an impact on special teams, with the NFL kind of changing that model as well. And he, being compared with Travis Hunter and all that, he's not huge, but he can make a pretty big impact on the field. I swear, if he goes to the Chiefs, I'm just going to throw something. But if he could be a special teams dude, we might be able to see, like, I don't know, maybe Miami pick him up, since you guys like track stars and injuries, so maybe he goes there.
Nah, I get a surprise team for him a team out there that I think could use that doesn't have that true deep threat yet, and that's the Rams. They get this guy on the outside or in the slot, move him around. He could free up a lot of space for Nakua.
And then just Matt Stafford just chucks it down the field and is like, someone's out there.
And let's not forget that they just added Devontae Adams. I mean, I still think that Adams still has a lot left in his tank. So, gosh, dude, that would be pretty wild.
Yeah, I mean, he could free up a lot with Adams. I mean, Adams he's 31. He's still got juice in there, but he ain't a 4.29 by any means.
No, not at all. And get some young blood in there. I mean, look at what Puka was able to do with that Rams offense. He kind of gave them a little bit of juice because it's a very veteran offense there in Los Angeles. So, let's move on to the next guy on our list. This next guy, he's from Ohio State, Egbuka. And let me tell you something. This guy, I feel like, was in the shadow of Jeremiah Smith this year, because Jeremiah Smith came onto the scene and was just, I mean, everything that we saw, right? But this guy, very much a locker room guy. That is what everyone was saying there at the NFL Combine. Every time that he had a meeting with a team, he just wants to win. And whatever it takes, he wants to win. He'll play his role, and he plays a very good slot wide receiver. Carlos, how do you like the Ohio State guy?
I hate all Ohio State guys.
I understand that. But how do you like him on a skill level?
he is good. It's just he's part of that bloodline of wide receivers from OSU. I don't know how Brian Hartline doesn't have a job in the NFL as a wide receiver coach. This guy is producing NFL wide receivers at an insane rate at OSU, and I don't know why an NFL team hasn't snagged him up yet, but he's good. He's a great, everything that you hear about him, he's a great teammate. Like you said, he just wants to win. He's definitely the most polished guy in here when it comes to route running. And he brings to the game a little bit like a quarterback. He's very surgical on what he brings out, like between his route running. He understands the game at a high level. So he knows when to make the breaks. He's kind of got some Travis Hunter in him with the tempo part, but I mean, he's just another long list of guys from OSU, man. That's cool. It's definitely taken over wide receiver U, man. It's crazy what Hartline's doing up there.
Yeah, definitely. And you want a guy like him with that high IQ, because when you're a lot of the time, those high IQ wide receivers, they help out the quarterback when they're in some danger, and they can find the soft spots in the coverage. And so that's definitely what you want, especially when it comes to the NFL, because windows are very tight. But Scooter, how do you like the guy from Ohio State?
I'm with Carlos. I really hate Ohio State with a passion. I really wish they just didn't succeed at all. I'm just tired of it. Same thing with Alabama. They're in the same category. Like if they both had like a 10-year no wins, yeah, it'd be beautiful. But yeah,
I don't think that's going to happen.
Ryan Day and Hartline, which a team did pick up Hartline. They just did it in the wrong phase of his life. Miami Dolphins did pick up Hartline as a wide receiver, and he did all right. But man, they could have capitalized on this coaching opportunity, man. But
100%. The guy is a hell of a coach.
I know. Yeah. And he's pumped out consistent A-list talent into the NFL. Whenever Ryan Day loses him, they might actually just fail. But Egbuka, to me, is the wide receiver that's just all around. Good route running, good hands, clutch. And he's been there all 4 years at Ohio State, and he had some injuries in his junior year, but he has been the most consistent piece in that offense. And I think he can be another consistent piece in the NFL if he gets in the right system. Because like we saw with, JSN, that, maybe if he branches out from Seattle, it might be different. With Egbuka, I think he can just fit into the NFL. He's got size, he's got speed, he's got hands, he's got consistency. 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns, 81 receptions. He's a first rounder, point blank. And if someone skips on this guy in the first round, I don't know what the owners are doing, to be honest.
This wide receiver room, a lot of people, they're thinking maybe like one or two guys are going to go off the board in the first round. I see what happened last year to the wide receiver draft class. I see a lot of teams, they get their guys early in the round. They're waiting for their day 2 pick, and then they try and trade back in late in the first round to see about picking up one of these guys if they're still on the board. So keep your head on the swivel. Buffalo fans, listen, this is your chance to redeem yourself. Don't trade your pick and give them Matthew Golden, all right? Don't trade away your pick to the Chiefs and give them Matthew Golden. So, but let's move on to the last guy here on the list for the wide receiver room, and that is the guy from Mizzou, Luther Burden. A little bit on the smaller side compared to the other guys here on the list, 5'11", 205 pounds. Great speed, though. He was utilized a lot in the screen game at Mizzou, and he's very shifty. He's able to make a lot of guys miss, which kind of plays a part in his size. But good speed, good hands, very tough over the middle of the field kind of guy, typical, slot kind of guy. But Scooter, how do you like the guy from Missouri here?
I mean, he was used in the screen game because he exploits space. That's all he does, dude. If you give him a fraction of an inch, he's going to exploit it. He's going to find your zone coverage. He's going to get in there, and he's just going to explode with the ball. I would like to see him fit into like an old school, or not old school, but a few years ago with the 49ers, how they had that kind of scheme before they, bought full on into CMC. Same thing with how, the Chiefs used Tyreek Hill. It was like that little wide receiver screen, take off, get one block and he's gone. Yeah, he, like you said, he might be on the smaller side, but he's not Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter's like 180 pounds soaking wet. This guy actually has a little bit of beef to him. In Mizzou, man, I honestly think Mizzou could have capitalized with Burden way better if their offensive line could have blocked for more than half a second, because when it got to the later part of the year, he lost almost all of his catches. Like, I think he's first-round talent, but if you look at his stats comparative to the other guys we've just talked about, he's like 400 yards short of every single one of them. And that's because Mizzou didn't know how to throw the ball for the second half of the season. I still think he's a first-round talent, and I think he's not an all-around type of guy. I think he fits into certain systems, maybe Miami, maybe, get some, maybe Carolina, because they need some help with Xavier Leggett. But Burden, to me, I think has more growth potential in this particular class.
Yeah, I like Burden a lot, and I agree with you. I was kind of watching a couple of other videos about these top guys as I was getting prepped for this video, and something that he said is that he was asked the question. He said, does the quarterback play, if they have bad quarterback play, does that actually help a wide receiver going into a draft class, or does that hurt him? And he says it's kind of neutral here, but something that a lot of people are going to be looking at with Luther Burden is on his pro day. They're going to be putting him through a little bit more test just to kind of see all of his skill sets, because obviously he probably was hurt a little bit with the quarterback play there at Mizzou. But Carlos, how do you like Luther?
I like Luther. He's you're right. Brady Cook took a huge step back there as a QB of Mizzou.
Dude,
and
he was trash.
Yeah, the whole offense. This guy in 2023 had 86 catches for over 1,200 yards and 9 touchdowns. He's got the goods. He does need some polishing with his route runner, but whoever drafts this guy is going to get a steal, and they just got to put him on the field. He's lightning in a bottle. He the one-on-ones, he's tough, man. But whoever gets him, they just get him on the field. Let him play. Let him make plays. And if he gets to the right team with a couple of veteran guys that can help him with that route running, I mean, his ceiling is very high. Like there's things you just can't coach, in speed and explosiveness and that acceleration off the line, man. And he's got it. Unfortunately, Mizzou was terrible last year on offense. Like I'm surprised he put up 670 yards on that with that offense, man. But 2023, this guy lit it up, and I feel like if he has that same year he had in 2023, we're talking a little different about him. That he's up there with McMillan or Golden right now.
86 catches for 1,200 yards. That's 10 less catches for the same amount of yards that Travis Hunter went for this year. So that, just to kind of put that into perspective, that is nothing to overlook at all. I mean, the guy definitely can get the ball going. So, but let's move on to our tight end portion of this video. I like this. I like a lot of the guys on this, and I'm going to start it out with my favorite, and that is Tyler Warren from Penn State. You want to talk about just an absolute football guy? This is the football guy. I mean, just 6'6", 260 pounds. Good luck stopping him. Like, I don't care how fast he runs, because he ran a 4.52. That's not too bad for a guy of that size. But when he gets out into the open space, he is a nightmare to get down on the field. And we saw that there in Penn State. Scooter, how do you like Mr. Football, Tyler Warren himself from Penn State?
Quick disclaimer, I'm just upset with you guys that we didn't include anybody from the University of Iowa in this particular draft class, since that's tight end you. But moving on. Yeah. Moving on with Penn State's Tyler Warren, man. This kid used to play quarterback in high school, decided to take a knee, play tight end, and then probably be the guy to go first round for tight ends in this draft class, like without any competition, dude. 1,200 yards, 8 touchdowns, 104 receptions, man. He's just an absolute beast. He played in the Wildcat. He played tight end. He played slot receiver. He played guard or tackle, I think, at one point for Penn State. Like, he is your all-around dude. It's like you put Gronk's body with Kittle's mind at, catching, and then somehow they had a baby, and, Sam Laporta is probably a brother or something of this guy. So, great hands, great route running, great physicality. He's a bruiser, and he's still going to carry like 2 more dudes with him. Like, Tony Gonzalez may need to look out for this guy, breaking his record. I love it, man. He's just, if you took a tight end and like create a character in Madden or like NCAA, like College Football 25, this is your guy.
Yeah.
Like 100%.
Hey, ChatGPT, make me a prototypical tight end. And you get Tyler Warren.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. Watching him play was the most fun. It was almost comical to see people try and tackle this guy. I mean, he was just head first. I'm going to run you over. try and stop me. So, Carlos, what are your take on this guy?
It sucks that he had to play with that offense, but I mean, for a tight end to have 16 catches in the game, that's not heard of, man. This guy was their only weapon in receiving, but he's got it all, man. He blocks very well, so he's kind of that, like Scooter said, he's that Sam Laporta Kittle mix, and Kittle's probably one of our most complete tight ends. So he looks exactly like him. He's just bigger. So, and he creates he's going to be a matchup issue in the NFL, especially for linebackers. But it's kind of crazy to think, though, and sometimes I got to come out of the past with linebackers. We have linebackers running 4.3s now. So maybe he won't be that great of a mismatch. So, but his size alone is going to cause issues. But he's an asset for a team. He's a guy who will be on the field for 3 downs because he could block. This kid is not shy of blocking, and he will pancake a lineman or a linebacker. Man, he's going to be somebody's going to get a good pick here. I secretly, I wouldn't hate it if the Dolphins picked him up because we could use the good block and tight end.
4.340 doesn't mean anything if you're getting mowed over, man.
Hey, this guy, and that's something about the tight end position. You have to understand they got to be reliable in the blocking game. They got to be reliable in the passing game. I mean, they're definitely a Swiss Army knife out there on the football field. So when you come across a guy like Tyler Warren, you pick him up because he is a man of all trades.
He's like Mike Ditka 2025. So Ditka was in this era. That's Tyler Warren. Because he's nasty, mean, catches, he's a reincarnation of Ditka.
A little bit more mullet, but yeah. Yeah.
Hey, but that's okay because that's where the 2025 plays in, right? If you're not a tight end, if you're a tight end, you better have a mullet. That's just standard protocol at this point. So, let's move.
Are you saying that tight end shouldn't listen to Taylor Swift?
Oh my gosh.
No, a tight end should listen to Taylor Swift.
Have nice, smooth haircuts and proper mustache trims. No. Poor Kelsey.
Just be nappy as hell, man.
Hell yeah, man. Look like that you just came off of the street, all right? Just I don't want a polished tight end for sure. But you know what? We talk about how big Tyler Warren is. We talk about how nasty he is. This next guy on the list from Michigan, he's just about as big and nasty as Tyler Warren. And that's Colston Loveland, 6'5", 245 pounds, another just absolute threat in the red zone, and has incredible strength when he's playing the ball in the air. We saw him, I mean, we talked about T-Mac from Arizona, boxing out defenders. This guy, Loveland, he can box out some defenders. He has some true strength. Carlos, how do you like the Michigan guy?
I like half of his game. Somebody has to teach this kid how to block because he is a bullfighter out there, Ole-ing everybody because he cannot block with all this size. Man, you know who he – and I said this before with our quarterbacks with I can't remember who I said is going to be. Oh, Will Howard be the next Kyle Trask.
Yeah.
I think Groveland is the next Mike Gesicki. He can't block. He's got great hands. Gesicki has great hands. Big, tall guy. Should it be a red zone threat? Should have this, should have that. But, man, if you can't block in the NFL as a tight end, I mean, I don't know. But the guy he's got great receiving skills, so you can't take that away. He's got that Kelsey-esque route running, the receiving, but we're going to see. I mean, we're going to see how tough he is in the NFL. I just hate that he can't block. Like, I don't understand. How do you play for the University of Michigan and you can't run block? What the hell?
Yeah, run blocking is a huge key in this, and it is funny to see his size. You're like, oh, this guy can line up at the end of the line, and you're like, no, don't do that. Just make him go out for a pass. I like the Mike Gesicki comparison. Scooter, who do you got? What do you got for this Michigan guy?
He was a great pass catcher for Michigan, but Michigan couldn't figure out who was playing quarterback or if they were going to run the ball a billion times a game. So, maybe this guy was just confused if he was supposed to block or not. I don't know. It's just, yeah, Michigan's tape for every player minus defensive guys. Just take it with a grain of salt. I would like to see Loveland not end up like O.J. Howard. Great size, great catching ability.
Oh my
just
God.
trash blocking. And great athleticism, great potential. It would be interesting to see, like with the Bills when they had Dawson Knox and Kincaid, like how that complement could end up happening. Say when you had with the Bucks, you kind of had like a weird tight end room when you had like 4 tight ends. So like I wonder if he can get behind somebody. Maybe not like Kelsey, because Kelsey's like a fluid type of person. Maybe if you can get him with like a Kittle, like if he goes to a clinic or something, and kind of polish some of that blocking, because when he engages, man, his hands are trash. Like if he's not catching a ball, it's like, oh, Butterfinger gone. The guy's wrecking my quarterback. And I hate saying that because like you see his tape and it's just potential. Like it's like you took a raw product and was like, there's some upside here. He can catch. He's quick. For a tight end, if running a 4.7 40 at 245, like that's still pretty quick. And he's got extension. So like if he gets the power right from his hips and extends, he could be a real force in the middle of the field. I'm trying to think of who could potentially fit that. Get like a Noah, help him out with Seattle maybe.
Yeah, he's kind of a Noah Fantish. But you mentioned Kincaid. He's like that too. Like Kincaid came out of college and he was this great receiver and he was going to bolster Buffalo's offense. But, I mean, the guy puts up 600 yards, touchdown here and there. But
well, it was like Mayer from Notre Dame when he went into Las Vegas and then gets completely blown out of the water by Bowers. So, like, I wonder if he can get a mentor early. I don't know if he's a first rounder. There's still some questions there, at least from my side. I'm just a dude chilling at home talking crap about football. But, like, there's so much potential with him. That's the thing with me. Like, yes, trash blocking, great catching, good route running. But if he can get a mentor, say year 1, and he only has a few, receptions or maybe a quick red zone catch, I think he can benefit from that mentorship. I don't know if he's round 1.
The Giants will draft him at 3. Don't worry.
Oh my god!
don't worry. In the
With
Cleveland
room,
yeah,
oh
Cleveland would do it, but they already have Njoku, so
he's good.
Yeah, watch the Giants pick him up at 3.
Bro.
Oh my gosh.
Turn in the wrong card. Like, oh, that was supposed to be Travis Hunter.
And that GM gets fired immediately.
Or maybe he doesn't. Maybe he gets another extension.
Yeah.
Because he let go his superstar with Saquon, and yet the guy still has a job. Hey, Carlos, great segue for a quick little plug. We are going to be live here on YouTube for the NFL draft, and we have a little bit of a secret. So if you want to know the draft picks before anybody else does, go ahead and follow us because we're going to be announcing them before they go live on your television set. So follow us that night, April 24th, Thursday night. I think it starts at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be live for the whole first round. So, but
dude, it starts at 7. The first pick's like 8:30.
Yeah, I know. So that's very accurate.
I'll be like 10 beers deep. I'm like, the first pick is.
So, but let's move on to the final guy. And Carlos, you wanted to put this guy on the list, I feel like maybe because of one of those banners behind you. So why don't you go ahead and take it away, Mr. University.
Let's go here with this guy. Mr. Elijah Arroyo. I might be biased here, but this guy, he's got to do 2 things in the NFL.
The U hat on.
He's got to do 2 things. One, he has to stay healthy. I think he could, and I'm probably going to get heat on this, but this guy he's a better route. He's faster than Warren. He blocks just as good as Warren. He's a fantastic run blocker, and this guy can catch like Groveland. Like this guy's got all the tools. The only problem he's ever had is staying on the field. But he could do it all, man. He's a game breaker when it comes to tight end. He runs fast. He's smooth. Miami, the games he was on the field, he's a handle. He is a matchup nightmare for any linebacker in the league. This guy, he just came off his pro day and he killed it, man. But he's going to be a handful. But this guy is another complete tight end. He gets killed. He gets killed by the injury bug. So hopefully that gets cleared up and he's taking care of himself. But man, this guy is going to be a steal for somebody, and they're going to get him later. But if he stays healthy, this is a home run pick for someone.
Something that I did notice about his game is he's definitely has a very high IQ. The way that he sees the field, he can find the soft spots in the coverages, and he's one of those guys who, although he will run his route, and he's good at running his route for sure, he has great footwork. But if he sees a soft, like a weakness in the coverage or a little bit of an opening, he'll adjust his route, during the play and just be like, oh, okay, I'm going to go ahead and just kind of stick right here, so then that way my quarterback can find the open spot, which is a huge benefit. For a lot of quarterbacks.
He's a big dude. He's at 6'4", 6'4.5", 240 range. He ain't a small guy, so he's a big dude, and he can move, man. He had about close to 600 yards last year with Miami, but man, he's definitely going to be a handful. He just has to stay on the field.
Yeah.
He probably had a hard time staying on the field because you had a guy starting in Miami for 8 years getting 2 doctorates. With McCormick at tight end.
That guy was a transfer. He holds the record for most teams played for.
No, Elijah Arroyo, I had to look at his tape again. Because I was like, I don't know why Carlos wants this guy so badly on this list. But he does have potential. He's got a great wingspan, strong hands, good separation. There seems to be a lot of upside. His blocking is pretty good, man. He gets on the inside and he just holds it, pretty well. His injury bug is a little bit of a concern. Where does he sit with that? But they also thought Gronkowski had an injury bug, and he still continued to, rock 3 Super Bowls. So it'd be interesting to see where he lands. I have a strong feeling he's round 2, early round 3, just because of potential injury bug. Pro days, take it with a grain of salt. It's very scripted. It's very isolated. There seems to be, like, you may end up with a Kyle Trask situation where you get a lot of favorited throws, like a Malik Willis. Like, yeah, you look really good, but what's your tape actually look like? With his limited tape, I think he's a junior, right? He's coming in a little early. I don't know if another season at Miami would have helped him, but I mean, if you're looking at this draft class, you could potentially take I don't know if you call it a risk, but there is, like, same thing with Loveland. You're taking a little bit of risk, but it's a different type of risk that you can coach, and I think a lot of teams are willing to do that. Yeah, I'm thinking late round 2, maybe early round 3 for him.
Yeah, he's going to be somewhere around there. But man, he's got the goods. I know you, David, you like Mason Taylor there a little bit. It's Mason Taylor. His dad was phenomenal.
Yeah,
that's a high, like, that's a high bar, though.
Yeah, it's up there, got some big shoes to fill there with that one. So, let us know down there in the comment section who you're excited about in this year's draft. Do you want your team to pick up one of these guys that we mentioned? Let us know down there in the comments below. Follow us on all of our social medias. You know them all. We don't got to tell you, at Beard Zone Podcast. Go ahead and take a look at us there. And we're here every Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube. We're going to be breaking down all of the top prospects coming into this year's draft Next week, we are going to be looking at defensive linemen, super deep class with this class here and the defensive linemen. And maybe we have a special guest. We are currently working on that right now. So, but until next Friday,
Beard Zone out.